What's up, CJ Kid 1231 back with another hip hop album review. This time we are doing ASAP Ferg Floor Seats. Now, I will say this is my first time listening to an ASAP Ferg project. I've had heard him on freestyles before, sometime around the rumblings of his first album that came out in 2013. And since I've heard, of what he's done, he actually did tracks for Premiere before, but mostly he's like sort of like a Harlem trap rapper slash um how do I call it? I guess I'll describe more of him as we go through the album. First of all, I want to say that I thought this was an album at first. Is actually a EP instead of an LP. So I mean that explains the short length of it. But still, it was pretty fun to go through it a couple of times and actually dissect this album the way I usually do my other ones. But let's get on with it anyways. ASAP Ferg. So the one word that could describe this whole thing is ladies. He talks about them so much, and whether that's a good or bad thing is up to you. I don't find it bad at all. It's just in the way you do it, the way you deliver it. Like, if it's not the same all the time and if it's different, then that's what counts. And that's what would help. But a lot of the subject is basically the same. F this chick, your wig on the floor, F you this way, F you that way, watch out for fakes, all that stuff. It says he's the 2010 Luke, and with this project, he is like working to prove that point, with some of the songs that we'll talk about. To me, in my opinion, because it's 9 tracks, it's very short, sweet, and to the point. I do feel like a lot of this whole project was saved by production and the fact that he was able to use certain different flows, little bit of different flows. So I mean, that's just me though. But the fact that I think ASAP Ferg kind of at this point in time knows his audience and knows what they like, and that's what I think he made this project for his core audience, of course, for the females, and the fact that he brings that energy, which is amazing. This is something that you can definitely play at like a party or a club. This EP or certain songs off the EP. This is definitely one that you can play at the club, definitely. And we'll get to the tracks. Excuse me if I'm yawning, I'm just a little bit tired, guys. But we're definitely going to get into the tracks. I want to also say that all the features did pretty well in this. Let me read off the features. Excuse me if I butchered the name. Maiden T.O., Asian Doll, Rico Nasty, A$AP Rocky, Ty Dolla $ign, and Brent Faiyaz. That's the R&B vocalist, which is amazing. I think I pronounced that last part wrong, but forgive me if I did. But let's go to the favorite tracks now, guys. Floor Seats is basically talking about his come up, and then where he is during his success and what he's obtained now. And yeah, basically he talks about his past, how he grew up, and how people thought that they doubted him. Like, oh, this is the guy that sells this in the corner, and he's gonna become the guy. And then when he finally becomes the guy, he's trying to maintain it now. That's with at least that. I mean, of course, it's gonna, sound aggressive because it's on that type of beat, but that's the general gist of the message in that song for me. I also like how it has a great hook. I can't deny that it has a great hook, and I like throughout the album, it's just vocals on top of vocals. It's almost like an echoing thing where he just goes like, huh! So it's just funny to me. Another track I like on this, being that this is 9 projects, I forgot to count that down too. Hold on. How many favorite tracks I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 out of 9. So not that bad. Another one is Wham. And basically, I'm reading off the notes, so again, excuse me. Basically, this song is him bringing it to anybody that tries to play with him, featuring Maiden T.O. To me, Maiden T.O. was okay on the hook. It's not that bad, but maybe I might hear better some other time. So because it's not to pick on that person, but like to me, I didn't, you know what I mean? It didn't do it for me. But one of my favorite lines on there, just because it's funny and I kind of have to laugh at it every time now, especially since as of recently I've been watching like Steve Harvey shows and stuff. Not the old show, but more so like, you know, the daytime stuff. And A$AP Ferg has a verse here. He says, "See it, nigga, ball head Steve Harvey, huh?" It's just funny because it's like you're gonna throw Steve Harvey in there out of nowhere, but it works. The next song is Butt Naked, and I like this because of the fact that the production is pretty creative. It sounds like something that would have been cool for the 80s, but they just trapped it up a bit. And basically, right. This is about, again, him basically stepping up to guys that basically want to bring it to him, and him kind of flossing on them, taking their chick, having his way with their chick, and then dropping them off and telling them that, you know, I got business I need to handle right now. So it's basically the stunt on the boyfriend, hit and run the girlfriend, continue to handle your business type of track over some 80s alien type trap beats. So Butt Naked. And Rico Nasty's verse was pretty good too, can't lie. Next we have Pups. I like this, and this is probably not only my favorite, probably the best track on the album by far, just because it's like paying homage to DMX's "Get at Me, Dog," in which A$AP Rocky and Ferg basically talk about how nobody wants it with them, and if you think they do, go and try them. Essentially, A$AP Rocky's verse, he kills it, and he even shares a little bit of DMX type. He has like a DMX type of flow towards the end of his verse. I don't know if that was like unintentional or intentional, just because the sample that they're using came from Get At Me Dog. So I mean, who knows? All I know is this is an amazing track. They sound good back and forth with each other, and yeah, it's my favorite track on the whole thing. Amazing track. And then finally we have Dreams, Fairy Tales, and Fantasies. This is the R&B track on the project that had me, or was giving me Tupac slash John B vibes, especially with the flow that A$AP Ferg uses and the tone that he decides to keep his voice. And the same thing with John B. I mean, not John B, but, you know, the fact that the person that would be John B on this track, Brent. Brent is an amazing singer, by the way. I can't lie. He did give me some John B vibes. A lot of people feel like this song, A$AP Ferg was trying to sound like Pac unintentionally. I think it was more so inspiration, if anything. Which I guess you can try to. The thing is, people were acting like he was deliberately trying to sound like Pac, when I don't think it was. I think the final product just ended up sounding like that, and it's a coincidental thing. Like, mine was thinking, okay, what would Tupac say in 2019, you know, with a love, you know, nah. And this song is basically talks about, you know, him enjoying sex and great intimacy afterwards with his chick. Again, another sexual track. A lot of this whole project, with the exception of one or two tracks, maybe even three at most, is dealing with women and their bodies, and, you know, how they want sex them up and all that stuff, and show them who's boss. So overall, great project. Something you could definitely play in the club or in the house party. I know I've already said that, but I'll reiterate just because I feel like I'm meant for a project such as this. And man, A$AP Ferg, man, the production and the flows really impressed with me. And even though the subject was essentially the same, I think that's what's gonna knock it down for me a little bit, especially when we get to the album rating. So let's just rate the album. I already knew what I was going to give it. This is definitely a 3.5 out of 5. Same subject matter, which again is like, there could be a whole album about one subject and still get a 5 out of 5. Anybody gonna say that Mobb Deep's The Infamous isn't a classic? Not in their right mind. So, see what I'm saying? And that was all about drugs, street living, and all that stuff. This is more about women and stuff. So, the one thing that does save him for it, I've probably already stated, is the production. the flows, the key things that he chose to use in his production. Not saying that he produced it or anything, but the whether he crafted the beats himself, which I don't think he did, or he handpicked them. Like the fact that he was able to pick out some of the beats, like for example, let me get my notes back. Like for that beat for Butt Naked, it sounded like something straight out the '80s turned trap. And I think Wham sounded a certain way too, but yeah, man, aggression, hyper energy, you know what I mean? He has the energy of an MC and stuff like that. It's just that I don't know if like cuz they a lot of the tracks sound the same. They also sound different, but not too different where it's like a drastic thing that you notice. So, I mean, for what it is, it's a pretty great piece of work. Just because it's 3.5 doesn't mean it's trash. I don't think it's anywhere near like a 4.5 or 5, but you know, at the end of the day, it's good for the purpose it serves. And I'm pretty sure Ferg knew that, and that's why he made it like that. Then again, I don't know, I'm not Ferg, but overall, 3.5, great project. Definitely would love to hear a full album from him, something brand new. Maybe he might put out next year, I don't know, but yeah, that's basically it for me, guys. That's floor seats for you, essentially. Again, in closing, great album. Can't take nothing away from it. I will say this: if you like A$AP Ferg, go and support it. If not, then give it a listen, and you make your own decision, like I did. But until then, and until the next album review, I will say, love you, be safe, peace. If you want to like, you comment. Subscribe only if you like the material that I'm giving you. Because remember, subscriptions are earned, not asked for. Okay, guys? And with that being said, I will bid you adieu and a farewell. And until next time.